Yeah.
No.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
October the 8th,
October the
2024. Here we are at 4 o'clock in
Here we are.
Alabama.
Alabama,
Central Time.
4 o'clock.
Yep, that's right. How are you all doing today?
How are y'all doing today? And where's everybody from today? We don't ever say that.
Well, we need to know where they're from. um, because, well, look at there. Adventures
Just
in Tea.
me and T.
And they live in Florida.
Yeah.
And I need to know what you guys are planning to do.
Yes.
Because we all know there's another one out there.
Yep. This is terrible, terrible, terrible. We just saw that they announced they're closing Disney World, which Disney World never closes. I'm assuming if Disney World closes, then Universal will close too. I'm sure that they are following each other there. And we are praying for everybody down in Florida there. We got several friends and viewers that we can come to know very, very well. And
Right.
we're thinking of y'all big time.
That is right. I see a lot of different locations coming in. I imagine a lot of people that are in Florida in the path are making preparations or either,
I bet so.
not home anymore. So what is it?
Oh, John Norris says he lives in the state of denial.
State of denial. Okay. Well, wherever you are from, we hope that you are doing well today.
Yes.
And the impacted areas in North, South Carolina, still some Florida, still some Georgia,
Tennessee.
Recovering from those areas is just
terrible over there.
We wish we could just up and make it disappear, go back to normal.
Yeah, it's awful. I didn't get where I don't even like to get on I check current events, and it's just depressing.
It is. It is. So y'all know how we feel about that. We want everybody to stay safe, and let's get along with it because we're here to make people happy, not make you sad.
Yeah, that's true.
Best we can anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So what's been going on, Jason?
Well, Vanderbilt beat Alabama.
Yeah, they did.
That was shocking, I would say.
It was, but I must say that you were, well, you're always a good sport, but you kind of put a bug in people's ear to know that you thought that it could happen.
Vandy's good. This is not the Vanderbilt team that we're used to seeing in the past whatsoever.
So they got beat, and life went on.
That's right, life went on.
Life went on.
It did, and I like Vanderbilt. So it was kudos to them, and they got one heck of a quarterback over there. Reminds me so much of Johnny Manziel and what Johnny Manziel did to Alabama. Texas A&M was unranked when they did that same thing.
So you're speaking a foreign language to me, but maybe somebody out there knows what you're talking about. I do know that Jason cut the TV off as soon as the game. Well, he might have cut it off before the game was over, but I hollered at him from downstairs. Did they tear the goalpost down? Mm-hmm. So I guess you cut the TV back on.
Yeah, I already saw it on the phone. One of the
because two. My thinking was you got to tear the goalpost down. If you beat number one, you got to tear the goalpost down.
Tore the goalpost down, carried it through downtown Nashville, and then threw it in the river. Now, why they threw it in the river, I don't know.
There was some thought process going on there.
And then I guess when you're marching it around, you got to do something with it.
You don't want to just throw it down. So the river was the best option.
I guess so. That kind of blew my mind a little bit. It was just paraded through downtown Nashville, and then it had to be people at the beginning there, like, let's go throw this thing in the river. I don't understand. But they did. They said they pulled it out and took it back to the school, and it was in pieces. It's not like they can, put it up.
How did they tear it up?
Yeah, it's
pulling
just
it out?
Wobbly and just, okay. They just tore up. I read that they said that they were going to cut it up into pieces and sell the pieces.
Well, they're going to have to sell it because they owe Alabama $100,000. Did you know that?
SEC.
Well, I read that it was a university.
It wouldn't be Alabama. It goes to the conference.
Okay. Well, that was on a legit like James Spann post.
Yeah.
So anyway, it is what it is. Alabama lost. He's a good sport.
Tennessee did. They did the same thing and they paraded it. But did Tennessee throw it in the river when they did it 2 years ago?
They beat Alabama 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe that's where it goes, is in the river.
Well, if you don't have a river, I don't know what you do then.
I don't know either. I don't know.
Oh, me.
Because you're not
going to... They did. They threw it in the river. I don't understand. Why would you want to throw it in the river?
Has Alabama ever torn down
Never
the goalpost?
Never rushed the field.
At any other school either?
Never in the history.
Well,
no.
If they ever do, they're going to need to throw it in the river.
It will never happen, but yeah. No, never.
I know they wouldn't do it when Nick Saban was the coach because he would.
No, it was kind of a thing with Alabama because, since the Bear Bryant years, it's just tradition that
you're supposed to win.
Well, it's just tradition that people tear down the goalposts when they beat Alabama. Alabama don't do that because they've just been at the pinnacle for so long. But I had that little big deal though. But
like Big 12 teams do it sometimes.
Yeah, but you would never see Michigan tear down the goalpost or Notre Dame tear down the goalpost. I don't think Texas would tear down Oklahoma. Well, your blue bloods, your big schools, they wouldn't.
I honestly think that Vanderbilt deserved to tear down the goalpost.
I would absolutely.
I thought they should have. Yep. And I don't think you even thought about it until I said, "Did they tear down the goalpost?"
I knew they was going to tear it down.
And it was just excitement all back over again.
It was.
But needless to say, that game is over. On to the next.
South Carolina.
It could be another loss. I mean,
this one's at home, though. Thank goodness.
You just don't know.
Yep.
You just don't know. And that's what makes people come back and watch again and again.
That's right.
If you knew the outcome, it wouldn't be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And if everybody honestly thought that their team was going to win every game, they wouldn't watch it either. They'd feel like, well, I can go on and plant my garden because no Alabama's going to win.
That's right.
But not Jason. He's going to watch it.
Watch it.
He's not watching those plants grow. He's watching the football game.
Oh, me. Oh. Well, I got a question I want to ask everybody.
What's that?
So we're talking about because we're working on the new back area.
Are we?
Finally. After 2 years, we got started on it. 2 years of working on the new back area back there. And we want to put a couple of chickens back there. And we're talking about we're going to do the silkies. And, well, we got two options. And we originally said that we were going to try to find some, right?
Find some silkies because obviously all that we have that are Snow White's dwarfs are roosters. There's one hen, but there's all roosters.
Right.
And I don't really want to hear crowing at 5 o'clock in the morning that close to our
right there at our window.
Back at our house.
That's right.
So we need hens, not roosters.
We need hens. And so we decided, well, we probably could find us some and buy some hens
that are already grown that we know are
right. That's right.
Hens.
Exactly.
Because it's hard to sex them.
Or we could hatch some. But
attempt to
hatch some. If we hatch some, it's always 50-50. That's the general rule of thumb. 50% of them are going to be hens. 50% of them are going to be roosters.
And then you got some that aren't even going to hatch.
Then you got some that aren't going to hatch. Or it could be like last time we hatched silkies, it was 80-20. They were 80% roosters, 20% hens.
Well, but you know what? Now that we got
2 hens out of that last batch we hatched.
Now that we have a rooster area, if we were to hatch roosters,
that's what we were just talking about.
They can just go in with the roosters.
They could go in with the roosters
and stay here, and we wouldn't have to rehome them.
So we were wanting to know: should we find somebody and find some hens, or should we hatch our own
and take a risk
and keep whatever silky roosters we got, over where Snow White can increase. She could have 7 dwarfs now, or 14.
Yeah, or 21.
Or we'll just let them out because
Yeah,
they're doing a good job of keeping the pastures
they are.
cleaned up. Or
They really don't cause any trouble.
that's right. We could hatch our own and then take the hens, put the hens in the back, and then put the roosters on that side. Or we could find us some hens.
So let me back up for a minute and explain why we are wanting to go with silkies versus, say, a cute Polish or a little Sarama, or something different. Why do we want silkies?
Right.
Well, first of all, in our experience with silkies, they roost on the ground.
Yeah, they roost on the ground. They can't fly.
They can't fly very well, and they just have no interest in getting up on a roost. Mm-hmm. So they roost on the ground. Mm-hmm. Well, also, since they can't fly very well, they can't get in our raised beds and tear those gardens up. Mm-hmm. And they're not big scratchers.
They're not. Not like a regular chicken.
Not like a regular chicken. If you put a silky and a regular chicken side by side, it would look like Talladega 500 versus Sunday Drive. Mm-hmm. They just don't get real antsy when it comes to scratching around. They want their food fed to them on a platter.
They are, and they're super docile too.
And they're beautiful.
And they're beautiful. They're really low maintenance. They don't lay a whole bunch of eggs, but they do like to sit on them. That's what they love. They are
broody. Okay, so did somebody say both?
I saw several people say both.
How are we going to do that?
I don't know. Now we
because we don't want a whole lot.
Now we could do a couple of things here. We could purchase some eggs, and we probably get them from Bobby Porto or somebody like that.
But she's in hurricane zone.
Is she in Florida? For
yes,
some reason?
South Florida.
Really? I thought she was up north. No, why did I think that?
She's in South Florida.
Okay. Anyways, we could find somebody that has super cool colors and beautiful colors and stuff like that, and order eggs from them. Or we could hatch out our eggs from who we got here. And we do have a frizzle that is also a silky. She's just got frizzle feathers.
She's beautiful, but she is getting up in age.
She's been here a long time.
Her name is April, and some of you guys may even remember Mary Carl got her at a chicken show, and she's just beautiful. Yep. But she's probably not gonna. If we had her in a rooster locked up for a month, she might lay 1 egg.
Yeah.
So the chances of getting a lot out of her is not going to happen.
She would hatch them for us.
Oh, she'd sit on them. That's for sure.
April loves to hatch them babies.
We will every now and then we'll have a new layer that lays on the coop floor before hens figure out how to get in the box. And when that happens because you'll see April in the corner of the coop with that egg up under her.
If any chicken whatsoever accidentally, or the nesting box is full or whatever, and they decide to lay on the floor, which is rare, it may be a couple a week, 1 or 2 a week.
I don't even think it's that.
It may not be that many.
No.
April's like Pac-Man. She is going to find that egg, and she's going to roll it to the corner, and she will sit on them.
She will sit on them. So she could be our hatcher, We don't even have to put them in an incubator. Just let April do the hatching.
She could raise them too.
And that'd be a win-win all the way around because we could just put her out there with her babies.
Yeah, that's right.
We're coming up with new ideas all the time.
She's something else.
And I read, some of you guys' comments, and some of you were saying that you weren't able to have your own chickens anymore, and that you guys thought that the best thing for us to do was to hatch those chickens so you could feel like you were raising them and you could tend to them from far away.
That's right.
And some of you will even tell us what we're doing wrong. So we would have a whole, 360-degree viewpoint of what we're doing with our chickens.
That's true. That is true. Somebody said about Jacqueline. Jacqueline's kind of evolved out of the silky world. I think she still has some, but
she does. She's not breeding them.
And that's Jacqueline Head at Head Family Farm. Sorry.
Her daughter Eleanor is not so focused in on chickens as much as she once was. I know somebody else like that. But when that happens, the parent tends to be involved in whatever the child,
that's right,
kind of gravitates to. And I think that's where Jacqueline and Zach are right now with Silkies. So, I mean, that's a possibility.
That is a possibility.
It's a possibility, but she knew that we were talking about putting Silkies out there, and it didn't come up that she had any to rehome or any eggs to, hatch.
Right.
So we'll dig deeper into that. But also, if I get eggs to hatch, not saying Jacqueline's aren't quality. I'm not saying that at all. But I don't want to just go out to somebody down the street and get them, because I know, like, just use Bobby Porto, for instance. Her genetics and her health lines are very good.
Right.
We wouldn't be incorporating a bunch of, chickens that were interbred and looking for problems.
Right.
So there's with, that whole aspect of things. And then we had a whole nother thought about what we could add back there.
Yeah, we did. This one is a little off the wall.
But we just still tossing ideas around because we don't want to make a mistake.
Right. And that was adding a couple of rabbits back there.
A couple of rabbits. We could obviously utilize the manure in the gardens, and you guys could see them and just like you could the chicks, except
right.
I don't know that I'd want to start a rabbit from a baby.
Yeah. That's true. So
if we did rabbits, it would probably be an adoption kind of situation where something that needed a home would come to live with us versus chicks.
And it would be the small miniature rabbits. They wouldn't be able to jump up in the high beds if we decided to, or we would fence that area off or make like a little rabbit village.
Don't you say fence. Don't you dare say fence.
Oh, so I wouldn't worry about them eating the garden because they wouldn't be able to get in there.
And it may be that we could, once we get everything laid out and we get everything, in our head as to what can go where, that we could do both.
I don't think a miniature rabbit can jump 2 foot. I may be wrong. Maybe wrong. Not the ones I'm looking at.
No. Well, Piper's, I'm trying to think if Piper's rabbit jumps on her bed. I know she jumps off her bed. But I don't think she jumps on the bed.
That would be it'd be a pretty tall jump. But anyways, it would be, we would make sure that they wouldn't get in the garden.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have to be like fence like what you're thinking about. It could be just a perimeter fence.
And it would be rabbit proof, but they wouldn't dig out, which I would love to see a rabbit dig in that backyard. I would love it. Absolutely love it.
If that was the case, then you would have got rabbits a long time ago to dig some holes for us. Yeah.
I would, if I was a betting man, I bet they wouldn't dig very far back here.
I bet not either.
Guarantee you that.
So there's a girl that I've known for quite some time, not like personally know her, but I just know who she is because she has raised some specialty chickens in the past, and she has a petting zoo up in North Alabama, where a traveling, what do you call it? A traveling petting zoo, I guess you call it. So she has a tortoise, and yesterday marked the calendar for her day to bring her tortoise inside, because the tortoise stays outside when it's warm, and then she brings it inside when it gets cool. Somehow yesterday, the tortoise escaped. And the tortoise has now been gone for 2 days.
Oh my gosh.
And she cannot find the tortoise. Let me figure out where she lives so I can pass this information on, because it has really just been on my mind since. Now,
we've had rabbits before in the past several times. We've had the beautiful ones, the lion heads, the Angoras, all before YouTube even started. We've had, I just call them mutts. We've had those rabbits before in the past. We've had Rexes and silver foxes. So we know all about rabbits too.
All right, here he is. His name is Turbo. And his name can't be Turbo for no reason. He's obviously a pretty fast tortoise.
Goodness gracious.
He's been missing for 2 days. Where is she? She's in Shady Grove, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And if y'all just happen to be in that area, please be on the lookout for him. You can reach out to me if you were to find Turbo, but that is just terrible. Turbo. I saw Jacqueline Head commented on her post yesterday that her thought was that Turbo had tried to dig a burrow and that's where she was going to find him. But no luck yet.
No luck on Turbo yet.
No luck on Turbo yet. Still looking for him. What you doing?
Oh, I saw these people have these cute little rabbit villages.
Well, Jacqueline's got a cute little rabbit village.
She does. I don't have a picture of it, though. I was looking to see if I saw one. I don't see one right now. Not what I'm thinking. It's got AstroTurf on the ground.
Yeah, that's what Jacqueline's has.
Mm-hmm.
So another thought for rabbits are we could use a stall because obviously all our stalls are not in use and never will be. We've got a couple that are just right now they're used for storage, and we could put AstroTurf down in there and make a little cute little rabbit area and use a swimming pool for the manure and fertilize the garden.
Yeah, the manure is such great fertilizer.
And it can be used instantly, whereas most everything else has to wait for the nitrogen to break down.
It's a cold fertilizer versus a hot one.
Right.
But anyways, there's just options out there.
So I'll go back and read through and see if I can't come up with what you guys want us to do. Because, you know, we do this channel for ourselves, obviously. I mean, we've got the animals for ourselves, but we want you guys to be happy too. So it's kind of a don't know what to do situation. Don't know exactly what to do.
We'll figure it out.
Yes. And obviously it's getting into cooler weather. So chicks that hatch right now,
oh gosh,
would not be able to go in the backyard until temperatures got warmer. I don't want to have a heat light back there. They would be better off in the barn until springtime came.
That's right.
So keep that in mind with your decision. Full size hen obviously could go out there right now. So a lot to process. Rabbits, please. I see.
Rabbits.
Yep.
I see that Chestnut Hills is on here.
Yes, Chestnut
Thank
Hills.
Goodness.
If you guys follow Chestnut Hills, you know that their son Chance had to go to the ER last night. He had a headache, signs of a headache for a few days now, and they went and just had that double checked, and they got quite a scare because they were sent to Children's Hospital up in Birmingham, and had lots and lots of testing done to determine that Chance is okay.
Yes.
So we are so thankful for that. I tell you, I knew about it last night before I went to bed, and I did not sleep well. And the reason I didn't sleep well is because, well, Zoe was going to update me if anything changed or if she needed anything. So every time I woke up, I looked at my phone and I just made sure that she hadn't texted and nothing hadn't happened.
Right.
You know, so I just didn't sleep well, but I will tonight knowing Chance is okay.
That's right.
And we're so thankful for that. Thankful for Chance.
I thought somebody said our Brown Farmhouse is on here, but I didn't see them.
Well, I sent Natalie a text earlier today.
Okay.
And
checking on them.
Yeah, I did. It wasn't long. I just let them know that we were, thinking about them and praying for them. And
same for Misty Dawn.
Yeah, same for Misty Dawn. Same for Miss Sue Slaughter. Adventures with T and Me. And I know there's lots more, but we're talking about it again.
And I saw people saying the rabbit. We would either get two of the same sex. We'd either get two females. We wouldn't have it where we would be breeding like crazy.
If we did, they would be spayed and neutered.
One of the two.
In the rabbit world, some of you may not even know this because Jason didn't know it until we talked about it.
I just never heard anybody really doing it, but obviously it's more common than I thought.
It's a big thing now. People spay rabbits a lot. Piper has Piper, Maycraw's little friend Piper, has two female rabbits that live in her room, and they're both spayed. Both females, both spayed. They tend to want to mark, and once you have them spayed, it decreases that possibility, and it's better for them health-wise to be spayed. So, it's become a pretty common process.
It has.
I've told this story before that Jason and I, our first rabbits we ever had, I don't even know where we got them. Did we get them at the fair?
We got them at the nursery. We went to the nursery.
A nursery like a flower nursery.
Flower nursery. It was called Bearden's.
It was years ago.
And they had them sitting out. We were buying plants, of course, and they had them sitting out, for sale. And they're like $5 or whatever. They wasn't very expensive. And so we decided to get 2 of them. And we got 2 of them and never owned rabbits before. And we had a little pen for them that was fairly big at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all, those things stayed in there
together
for over a year. Never dug, never did anything. So we just assumed that we had 2 of the same sex. We either had 2 females or 2 males.
But it does not take the rabbits very long to start reproducing.
Not at all.
Very young age.
So after over a year, I was in there, cleaning something up or feeding them or whatever, and a little streak caught my eye, just choke. And I was like, what in the world was that? And she had made a burrow, but you couldn't see it the way she had made it. But she had made a burrow, y'all. And I bet there were 7 little babies in there. But it was over a year and a half before those rabbits started mating.
Y'all can't imagine our amazement when we first saw those babies.
Oh, my gracious.
We could not believe
we could not believe. And then from that point on, it was on like Donkey Kong.
And every time you turned around, there was babies
everywhere.
And of course, we didn't want that to happen. But then again, they had been together all their life, so we didn't know what to do. And eventually, one of them passed away because we had them forever. One of them passed away.
Yep.
And after that one passed away, it wasn't too long later before the other one did.
Yep.
And that's another thing about rabbits is they don't have a long life.
Yeah, we read about it, depending on the breed. 5
to 8 years, something like that.
10 on some, so yeah.
And I guess it just depends,
That's right.
On a lot of different things. Probably goes back to how they were bred.
Yep.
Illnesses and different things can occur. Of course, we had to read about one breed that was recommended to be very friendly, something I had never heard of. So we Googled it and come to find out this particular breed of rabbit, don't ask me what it was.
Can't remember. There's so many.
Had problems with its teeth. And it was well known that this breed's teeth did not meet together properly.
Yeah.
And they ended up having problems. So if they can't chew, then they're obviously not going to live very long.
Yeah. I forget what that thing was called.
I can't remember.
It was crazy. There's so many, though. There's so many.
I have always wanted, ever since I knew what this rabbit was, but I've always wanted a Flemish giant, which I think you see some pictures on, the internet that circulate. I think some of them might be a little artificially intelligence because I know that they're big rabbits.
Some of them, yeah.
But some of them are a little bigger in the pictures than what they probably are.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it's the largest breed of rabbits. I think they're cool. Now, they probably could jump in the raised beds.
Let me see. I bet a lot of people may not know what a Flemish giant is.
Oh, you're going to find one of those AI pictures, and it's going to be a man holding one that looks like he's holding a little baby sumo wrestler. Find one of those I'm talking about, like that.
Yeah, that's not real.
Show it to them, though. This is what I'm talking about.
See, I don't think that's real.
But show it to them.
Okay. See, I think this one is... Maybe it's been doctored up.
That's what I mean.
That looks like a lion.
And look, there's a bunch of them that are people holding them.
That's probably more like it.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't know, Jason.
Right there.
I think they're cool. And that's what I've always wanted.
There you go. Can y'all see how big he is? They're massive. They're huge.
Aren't they, though?
They look like big old stuffed animals.
They do. I mean, can't y'all see that just hopping through the gardens back there? And we'll end up having to put a fence around the raised beds because the Flemish giant got in one of the 4-foot high beds.
Oh, man.
Oh, that'd be our luck.
The dogs would be scared of the Flemish giant.
Yeah.
They are huge.
Yeah, they would take off every time
they are huge. Now, somebody asked me where they bred for. They're actually not. They don't make great meat rabbits because of their bones. Their bones are so huge and dense that, it looks like it'd be.
It looks like it would be your number one meat breed, but it
it's
is not.
Yeah.
It is not by all means.
Chris Pugh's got one.
Huh.
Nick said Chris Pugh's got one. Chris Pugh's a friend of mine. I didn't know he had one. 30+ pounds.
Wow.
That's a monster.
Does he just have one or does he have more than one? I'm seeing babies in my future.
Oh, goodness.
I just love them. Now, Jacqueline, when she was here the other day, we were talking about rabbits. She did tell me the name of somebody that I'm friends with on Facebook that raises them.
Okay.
So I have a contact, just so you know.
Somebody said their Flemish Giant was 3 foot long.
So maybe those pictures are not.
Fail sauce.
I want a big one though. I mean, I want one that
he's just got one.
Really lives up to its name.
Man, that thing would take up the whole couch.
He's not going to live inside. He'd make Dee Dee look like a miniature, wouldn't he?
Oh my goodness!
As Dee Dee sits beside me snoozing.
Oh man!
I think they're cool. I really do. I mean, we've had a lot of different kinds of rabbits.
We have,
but I have never had a Flemish Giant.
That thing's huge.
I want to see one in real life.
Though. I would love to see one in real life.
Okay, so maybe we can go visit Chris Pugh and just see his before.
Yeah.
Or bring him here and let him see if he could jump in the beds.
He could just walk in the bed.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't have to step.
He would just walk right on up in there.
He's probably taller than me, Carl, already. Standing up.
Holy cow, that is huge.
I've just always been fascinated with them. And you're not, are you?
I'm fascinated with them. I don't want to own one. I mean, I'm fascinated with a lot. I mean, I think giraffes are cool, but I don't want one.
You don't have to have a license to own a Flemish Giant.
Oh, that thing looks like he could just take the fence and just rip it open and get out.
Flemish Giant?
Yeah. Oh. Look at him. He looks like he's a bodybuilder or something.
Reckon what Jesse and Honey would think about.
Oh my gosh.
A Flemish Giant.
Man.
Oh goodness. Oh, well, we hadn't talked about something big that happened. Something really big. Really big and really green.
Oh, eggs?
Yes. Oh. We just forgot about that altogether.
Yeah, that's right.
But I forgot that we haven't done a live since Goldie laid her magic egg. I told y'all.
You did. Emu eggs. She was acting funny.
She was acting very strange. And I don't know that egg was laid the day that I found it, or if it was there when I did my walk around and I just didn't see it. Right. I don't know. And she ain't talking. So
she's talking, but you just can't understand that drumming she's doing.
I took you out there to see it. Would you have noticed that if you were just walking around?
No, I wouldn't have noticed.
But you were looking for it.
Yeah.
The weird thing is there's like no grass or no leaves.
They don't build. Yeah, you think that is weird. And plus, too, when you think of a nest, you think of especially a bird that big, you think of like an eagle's nest. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, something a Flemish Giant would want to get in. I mean, but it's not. It's just like, boop. It's like I took a handful of leaves and went like that.
Well, yesterday, Jason had to go to Selma to go to the dentist. And I had the tractor inside the area where Nugget and Goldie are. And I was picking up some sticks and stuff, putting them in my bucket. And every time I turned around, Nugget and Goldie were alternating, trying to see what I had in that bucket that they could get out. And my thoughts were, they're going to get that and they're going to go put it on that nest. Because as I have been over there checking to see if she's laid another egg, they always pick up something and put it on top or rearrange something. It's amazing.
It is amazing.
It is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like he took his beak and just did like this. He had to bring that stuff over there piece by piece.
And it's the male that does that.
It's the male that does it.
But I don't know when he must do a lot of stuff at night. Because every time I look over there, he is either in the pond, at the food, or he's following us.
Yeah, he's following us most of the time.
If we're over here working in the back garden, all you gotta do is look straight across, and he's in that corner watching us.
Right.
And then if we were to walk up yonder and do something, give him 2 minutes and he's going to be right there.
Well, we've never seen the deed.
Never
be
seen
done
anything.
either.
No nest making, no hanky panky, nothing.
But I tell you, the first time she laid, I did quite a bit of research, and you guys sent me quite a bit of information. And everything that I read said that it happens during the night. So how would we see it?
That's true.
I'm not sleeping
That's what
out
I'm
there
saying.
with them.
They must do a lot of stuff at night, like building the nest and all that kind of good stuff.
But when we go past them and it's dark, they're laying down.
Mm-hmm.
So they must set their alarm or something and get up and just take care of things.
Must have. I'm sure they don't. I bet they don't sleep 8 hours though.
I don't know. I don't know. And they sleep beside each other.
They do sleep beside each other.
They sleep beside each other and they crouch down.
And Nugget, I never heard one of them snoring. So
no, but
Gus,
who did I hear snoring the other day?
Gus.
No, Gus. But I told that whoever this was that they sounded like Gus. Oh my goodness, I can't remember who it was. No,
Peaches don't. Peaches has Peaches has this little bitty sweet snore, y'all. It is, if she does it, she don't do it all the time, but sometimes you can catch her and it's just, I mean, it's just so sweet and gentle. Unlike, Peaches. She's a diva.
Yeah.
But that little snore Peaches does sometimes is quite cute. For the most part, though, she's pretty quiet.
Ask Catherine about that.
Sweet.
Catherine about that.
Oh, sweet Peaches.
Sweet Peaches.
Zoe too.
Yeah, Zoe too.
You know what? I think Peaches just don't like females around.
Well, she's good with me.
She don't.
She
didn't like Loretta.
And I hate to say this, but she didn't like my mama either. Mm-hmm. And my mama is the first one to make sure she's got a blanket when cold weather hits.
Yep.
But Peaches does not like my mama. When we lived at the old house and Peaches lived up under the carport, Mama started telling us that Peaches got after her from time to time.
Yeah, we couldn't believe it because
we were like, I remember like it was yesterday, Jason saying, Mary Lou, are you serious?
Because y'all see Peaches like we see Peaches. I mean, Peaches she's never, ever, ever, ever shown any type of aggression whatsoever to us or any of the animals except her and Loretta didn't get along. But this is pre-Loretta.
Yes.
And
and then I
couldn't believe it. I could not believe it.
It just kept going on.
Until I saw it.
It wasn't continuous. It wasn't every time Mama went out there.
Yeah. But
it got to be pretty regular. And one time Peaches got Mama up on the top of her car. Mama was scared of her.
I guess that's not funny. But
it's not funny.
It's
but
funny now.
When you can talk about it
At
later.
At the time, it wasn't funny.
And it's not funny to Zoe or Catherine when it's happening.
Nick says Zoe tries to make friends with every time, but she's not interested.
No, I mean
she's not.
She would. My mama will feed anything, and we had to tell her, "You have got to quit feeding Peaches," because she tried real hard, too hard, for Peaches to be her friend. Because Peaches can be won over with food, but we had to cut her off.
Peaches, she's like the mafia. She's telling your mama, "You pay me, drop it right there." And go on about your business, or it's going to be some trouble.
Leave it. Leave it right there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she's one of a kind, that's for sure. Because it just doesn't seem right to us that Peaches can have a split personality.
Yeah, it is. It's weird.
She's so gentle.
Oh,
don't show it. Lock it. All right. Good job, Dyson. You fast.
I was fast.
But I've never seen her get after any of the animals. None of them.
Except Loretta. And I say that it was Loretta got in her personal space. As long as Loretta was not in Peach's personal space, that she's got a boundary.
Well, Loretta's deaf, so she didn't know Peaches was raising Cain at her anyway.
But when Loretta crossed that line, y'all, it was a cat fight. I'm talking about knockout, drag out cat fight, and they were swinging haymakers.
But
I would not get in between them either.
I've never seen her like with the goats or with the donkeys or with the chickens or anything like that. She's never caused any kind of problems.
Yes. No, never.
And it
never caused any problems.
I don't know what's wrong with her.
So, I mean, she didn't like Marshall, but she didn't
didn't hate him.
She didn't, get in a fight with Marshall. I don't think she'd get in a fight with Gus. I think it's women. I think Peaches thinks.
Jeez.
I think Peaches thinks, all these. I mean, all these floozies need to go on about the business now and leave. This is Peaches'
Nick
territory.
has been here. Nick has been here, right?
Yeah. Nick, does Peaches try to attack you?
Does Peaches try to attack you, or is it just Zoe?
Does
she try to attack Rhett or Chance, or is it just Mackenzie and Zoe? I don't know.
Let's see.
Tony hadn't been to.
Tony hadn't been.
And Tony's still on his.
I thought I saw Tony come up a couple of times, but it was too fast for me to see.
From Catherine?
Mm-hmm. I saw Catherine mention Tony.
Well.
But maybe he's not here.
No, I think Tony's still in Georgia.
Okay.
Oh, goodness. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take for Peaches to be nice.
No, I'm not calling Zoe and Brooke's mom and Catherine a floozy. Peaches, I was saying, saying that's what Peaches thinks.
Jason doesn't do bad things.
I'm just saying that's what Peaches thinks.
Yeah.
These floozies need to stay away from my territory. These are my men around here.
That's right.
He's somewhere in Vidalia.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just saw Tony come up.
So Nick might have had to catch him a nap because they certainly had a long night. But that will be interesting to find out if.
There's Tony. I don't see Tony. Maybe Tony's on here. Anyways. Oh, Peaches.
I'm trying to figure that out now, and I need to stop because my mind is one track. Okay.
All right, Nick. So answer me this. I'm trying to figure out if Peaches just don't like women or females. So have you ever fed Peaches when y'all helped us out on the farm? And if you did Peaches try to attack you too? Or is it just Zoe?
Just women.
Just Zoe. We'll see what comes up.
Yeah.
Tony's on here because people keep saying, but for some reason I don't see it. But thank you, Tony, and hope you get back home soon, buddy.
Yes,
safely.
And that's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
If he don't come home soon, I'm gonna have to go get him.
Priscilla said.
All right,
Priscilla.
There's Nick.
Yes, without an issue. See there? And Priscilla says she had a dog named Peaches, and she didn't like females either.
Oh my goodness. This is not good for Peaches.
So there you go.
Not good for Peaches. Yeah, my mama, she's the first to make sure she's got a blanket for wintertime, and I don't care how many times I tell her, Mama, Peaches doesn't really want that blanket. She uses those shavings to cover up with.
If you put a blanket on her, she'll take it, and next thing you know, she's built it inside the bed.
That's right.
And it's got shavings all over it.
So she's not appreciative of Mama either.
Peaches don't mind Mary Carl.
No, she doesn't mind Mary Carl.
She don't mind Mary Carl at all.
But I think that she's been around her.
I guess so. She's been around us, been around Mary Carl forever. And
yeah.
Mary Carl painted her
toenails time or two.
Several times.
That's right. It's about time Mary Carl get people done up for Halloween.
Yeah. I mean, get that.
Yeah, we need to reenact that.
Maybe so.
I think Mary Carl's probably got some orange and black. We're going to have to do that.
Maybe so. We had to do that.
It's not like we're going to have to clean her toes. She's the cleanest pig around. If you tried to paint Loretta's, you'd have to give her a good scrub down before you could put paint on her hooves.
Oh, gosh. Loretta's, yeah, they're two totally different. on different ends of the spectrum.
That's right. That is exactly right. But it takes all kinds, right?
Mm-hmm. It does.
What else you got, Jason?
I saw you asking about the brisket.
Oh yeah.
The brisket. This was so little. It weighed 5 pounds, and brisket's also got a lot of fat in it, and depending on what cut it is of the brisket, but it weighed 5 pounds and it had a lot of fat on it. And I tried to cook it similar to the way I usually cook them, and it just didn't work exactly right. So, I mean, it was good. We ate it, but it wasn't as good as the big, larger briskets.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it was.
It dried out too quick.
It was a little dry.
And I think it may be because of size, because every brisket I've ever cooked is extremely moist.
Yes. It was quite an eye opener.
There's Tony.
There's Tony. Hello.
I finally saw his comment for a second there. Hey, buddy.
Tony, we need you back in Alabama. I know you want to be here. Thank you for all you have done for all those wonderful people over in Georgia. Can't thank all the linemen.
Yeah, the brisket was thick, but it was really, really small. And then, of course, it was about half fat.
Yeah, it was.
It's about half fat, and but it was still good.
It was still good. It was definitely we ate it, and I cooked some baked beans and had some slaw to go with it. So we made a meal out of it, but we also learned a lesson that the smaller ones are gonna dry out.
It really dried out a lot quicker. So I have to tinker around, but I don't have another small one. So maybe I want to get another small one.
That's right. That's right.
If I do, I may do something different. I may keep it wrapped up in tin foil and not worry about the bark on the outside.
Oh, that bark's so good when you get a good one.
It is.
Oh goodness!
But I just might have to cook it. If I get another small one,
if you cook that big one that's in there, it's gonna have to cook for 2 days.
The big one now will, yeah, yep.
It's gonna take 2 days to cook it.
That's right.
And that's why I chose the little one, because I didn't want him to have to stand out there or wake up in the night and go baste it and do things that you do.
I got a recipe though that I'll on the big one. I'll weigh it, make sure, but I'll cook it while we're asleep.
Okay, good deal.
Will.
And it's an electric grill, so.
It's a Traeger. It's a pellet grill, which they're so easy.
It's just like that old commercial that said, set it and forget it. That's kind of what you can do with the grill, isn't it?
In my 20s, I would not have liked this pellet grill because I wanted to stand out there by it and baste and brush and spritz and, just wanted to stay out there all day with whatever I was cooking. But as I gotten older, I got other things I got to do. I mean, we got,
busy
more stuff besides just sit out there and beside that, so those pellet grills make it so easy. I feel like that
when I'm cooking too.
And
well, I'm talking about like that Tejada, that Mexican caramel that I wanted to make with the goat's milk. Yeah. That's why I didn't make it.
It's going to take all day.
I had to stand there and stir it. And I just, I got things I got to do.
Oh, man.
Got things I got to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So, things I got to do. Spend time with family and all kinds of other good stuff. And animals and play with animals and
dream up new things to do.
Dream up new things and do. Work in the garden. And that's that electric smoker. Well, I say electric. It's pellets.
I say electric. You say pellets.
It's pellets. We had an electric smoker.
We did.
It was totally different than that. This is a pellet grill. And there's all different brands now.
I guess you're right. That was an electric smoker, wasn't it?
This one, once it ignites, the wood pellets burn the entire time. So it makes it so easy. It's so easy.
So easy. Well,
set it and forget it. Yeah, I used to hate waking up and seeing those infomercials, but now I kind of miss them.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I imagine there's probably a way that you can get back on those infomercials. But I'm sure they still do it.
The ones I really like?
What?
Were the ones that were the music ones, where they would be.
Oh, like John Denver's soundtrack.
That one or
Country Road. I could tell you every song in the order.
Or the top, like the top ballads of the time,
right?
Or love songs at the time, or whatever it was. I used to love. I mean, you could listen to those, and it was just relax.
See, that's the kind of thing that I need to erase from my brain. I can still remember all those songs, the way that infomercial advertised them in order. Can't that just go away? Because I need space. I mean, I need to remember what I did yesterday, and I can't.
Time Life. That's a lot of them are called Time Life. That's right.
Time Life.
Time Life presents.
Yes, you're exactly right. I kind of miss those days too.
I miss those.
But back then, it never bothered me because we didn't know it any other way.
That's true.
I mean, you just knew you got to sit through it.
Yeah.
Either you take a bathroom break or you sit through it. Or you go get you something to eat or drink because your show's coming back on and there ain't no watching it later.
That's right.
Oh. Those were the days.
We had 3 channels to watch. We did. I remember those. We had 3 channels that had rabbit ears on the TV, and you mess with them. And then if you wanted to get, the clearest or try to reach another station, you break out the tinfoil.
Yeah.
And then we got a satellite.
I never had a satellite.
We had a satellite, and oh my gracious!
But I lived in town, so does that mean I had cable or what?
You probably had cable.
Okay, because you couldn't get cable in the county.
Not where we were at the time, so we had the satellite, and then this was the transition time for the satellites too, because ours had the electric motor on it, where you would put in like G5 or wherever you wanted it to go, and you put it in, and the satellite would electric motor would turn it where it needed to point towards the satellite you wanted. So if you wanted Disney Channel, you had to point it towards the Disney Channel satellite. And so,
well, I never had that luxury.
Hey, but if you didn't have that, somebody had to go outside and crank it.
Are you serious?
Yes, you got to go click, 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 click.
So that was you?
No, ours had the electric motor.
Oh, okay.
Ours had the electric motor.
I thought you meant you had the cranking one first.
I knew some people that did have the cranking one. You had to go crank your satellite to where you wanted it pointed to.
Oh my goodness. Well, I guess I appreciate having lived in the city for that amount.
Yeah. And then everything was free. So you wouldn't pay any cable bill.
That's true.
Back then. And then, lo and behold, the cable companies got smart and they figured out how to scramble it. And your satellite wasn't worth nothing. And that's why everybody had them big satellites in their backyards for years, because they didn't know what to do with them.
So we lived in town in a little house. And then my meemaw died, which was my daddy's mama. And when she passed away, we moved into her house. Well, when I lived in my little house with my parents, we did not have one of those boxes. So I guess we didn't have, I don't know. I think we had like basic cable, but we didn't have all the channels.
Yeah, probably just basic cable. Yeah.
So we moved to my meemaw's house, and the cable had been cut off after she passed away in limbo for us moving to her house. Does that make sense? So no bills were being paid. The cable was cut off. Well, the box was still there. For some reason, I guess you owned the box back then. You didn't have to turn it back in.
Probably so. I don't remember.
Well, we plugged our TV up, and we had cable and never paid for it.
Really?
And I can remember my mom and daddy being so tickled that we had cable for that long. And all of a sudden, one day, it was like a couple of years after we moved there, it cut off.
They figured it out.
They must have figured it out because it got scrambled.
They figured it out. That's kind of what they did with them satellites. They scrambled them up
and made it to where you couldn't get the channels anymore.
And it just sat there.
But we went.
Because they're so big.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's not like you could just take it to the dumpster.
No, and you had to find out a way to dispose of those things. It's a wonder there aren't more of them than what there are still.
I guess people eventually got rid of them.
What did they do with them, though?
I don't know. Now, ours was fiberglass, but they had the cool wire mesh ones, and I guess you could take that for scrap metal. I don't know what Mom and Dad finally did with ours. I don't remember us getting rid of it. But it stayed out there a good minute now, because there wasn't nothing you can do with it. It just sat out there.
That was the highlight of moving to the new house, was we had cable that we did not pay for. And, I mean, honest people here, right? But we weren't fixing to reach out to the cable company and tell them, we get channels for free, y'all.
Especially back in them days.
No, this would have been like Oh my gosh, a lot. I think I was 11 when my
Oh,
mom passed
goodness.
away, so that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
A long time ago. Let's see. 86.
I do remember
It's
the
been
first time.
87, 1987.
The first time I saw a remote control was at my buddy's house. It was Chip, Amber, and their parents, Darlene and Bob, and they had a remote and to their TV, and it had 2 buttons on it. That's it. And that thing, it was about this big, and the buttons stuck up about yay high, and they were about that long. And you pressed it, and it made this click, click, and the knob would turn like that. It was weird. I don't know how it worked.
Huh.
And I think one made the knob, one clicked it, up, and one clicked it down, and it would turn off.
So it was just 2 channels.
Well, it wasn't many channels. Well, it was the knob kind, so you probably only had 3 or 4 channels total. But besides using your kids, because we were the remote controls back then,
Right.
You'd go change the channel.
Oh yeah, or either you'd watch the same channel forever and not change it, just hope something good came on next.
Or like my nanny's TV, you lifted up the console part on the corner there and reached that in there and changed channel.
That was crazy. That design was crazy because everybody that had that console TV wanted to set something on top.
Yeah.
If you set something on top, you had to move it before you could change the channel, right?
Yeah.
But I guess the whole top didn't lift up. It was just the corner of it.
Yeah. And you may have your TV controls on this side and your record player on this side.
That's right.
You lift it up and play
That's
your record.
right. I remember that now.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that now. Well, Jason, we're approaching the end of an hour. It doesn't feel like it, but it's Tuesday, so we need to know what's for supper.
Somebody said that's why remotes are called clickers.
Oh.
I did not know that.
Because obviously the clicking sound.
The clicking, click. It was loud.
Dee Dee didn't know what you're doing when you do that.
Sorry, Dee Dee.
Maybe her previous name was Click.
Oh, Click.
Oh, that's what it was.
Click.
Y'all, I can't tell y'all how many names I have said.
We tried forever.
And even to this day,
we tried.
Somebody saw me sitting with her going, Princess, Bridget,
Lady.
I mean, I'm just going through names, trying to figure out.
I mean, we called her everything we could think of, and she never looked.
But Click.
She did.
Click is Click. It. Maybe it rhymed with
Click and clack.
She's clicking and clacking as she's walking. So, do you know what we're having for supper?
Homemade hot dogs.
Homemade. No, we're not having.
I love tamales.
I asked you what we were having, and you said homemade hot dogs.
Somebody said homemade hot dogs. Cuban sandwiches. I love them too. I used to make a Cuban hamburger that was so good.
Yes, you did. We need that. So he put a piece of ham on it and a piece of cheese.
Swiss cheese.
And pickles. Yes. And wrapped it up in foil, some kind of sauce.
And put a brick on top of it and smash it down.
Okay. Yes, we got to have that soon.
I ain't done that in a while.
Nope. Hadn't done that in a while.
What are we having?
That's what I asked you. Do you know what we're having?
I don't know what we're having.
Should I tell him or should I just let him eat?
Wings?
No.
That's what you surprised me with last time.
No, I don't have any wings thought out, but we are having fish tacos.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Sweet.
Fish tacos. I'm going to air fry the fish.
Taco Tuesday.
And I have picked up some slaw for topping and some cilantro, and we will do these tacos at night.
Do I need to make the sauce?
If you can.
Okay.
I know you got to edit, so.
I don't mind making the sauce.
I think we had some sauce already pre-made, didn't we?
I made it last time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it was good, too.
Mm-hmm. It was good.
All right. So what are you seeing out there?
We're getting closer to the Cuban sandwiches again.
Those Cuban hamburgers are calling my name. I forgot about those.
It was in
it was Bobby Flay.
Bobby Flay cookbook I had.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet
Cuban
we
hamburgers.
Still got that up in the attic.
So we do too. If not, I can Google it.
I was fixing to say, you don't need that book anymore.
Just Google it.
Just Google it. Just Google it. And that's why we threw out all those CDs, because you can just Google it.
Just play instantly. Fried chicken. I love fried chicken.
Catherine's going to cook Tony some fried chicken when he gets home. I might not should have told him that. He's still on here.
Somebody said that they've seen people take those satellite dishes and turn them into gazebos.
Well, we picked one up somewhere one time. Do you remember that? I got it when we lived at the old house, and I went somewhere and picked that.
We were gonna make a pool out of it or something.
No, we were gonna make a chicken coop.
Oh, okay. What did we do with it?
There was a big hole, and we ended up putting the satellite dish in the hole.
Oh, okay.
And we had branches and things that we ended up putting on top of it.
I got you. I don't remember that.
I don't remember where I got the thing, but it was something.
Mango shrimp and brown rice.
It was something that I had plans for and never did.
Pulled pork and Korean sauce. That sounds good.
Yes, it does.
Blue cheese hamburger. I'm not a blue cheese fan, though. That's because we're in the South. So Southern people don't like, for the most part, blue cheese.
For the most part.
That's
you
the
still got a handful that like
northern one up there. Meatloaf and potato.
All right.
Meatloaf and mashed potatoes. I could eat that every week.
Could you?
Mm-hmm. Good.
Diddy says she could too.
All right, Diddy. Diddy's looking at me like I'm crazy. All right, guys. Well, hope you guys have a great day, and we're thinking and praying for everybody in Milton's Avenue. Goodness gracious. And as always, y'all be good.